Hi, Michelle from Birdcage and Thread here with a tutorial on how to sew a zip pouch in 10 minutes. The pouch itself is unlined, however no raw edges are exposed. To be able to have the pouch unlined but still sturdy lies in the correct fabric choice. The fabric I'm using is duck cloth, which is a hefty canvas type fabric. The pouch itself is approximately 9 inches wide by 5 inches high. I came up with the construction method for this pouch as I wanted to make lots of these for my boys' rowing team as a fundraiser. So I needed something quick and easy. It also had to be neutral so it could be used for both girls and boys. The silkscreen design on the front is a joke from a radio interview with one of the boys on my son's boat in his rowing team. To make the size I'm making in the video, you'll need a 10.5 inch square of duck cloth. The only other thing you'll need is a 9 inch zipper. The zipper teeth should measure 9 inches long, but the overall length of the zipper should measure approximately 10.5 inches long. So grab your supplies and let's get sewing. So the secret to making this project work without a lining is the choice of fabric. I have a duck cloth here, which is 100% cotton, and it's a fairly rigid fabric. Now for this size I've chosen a 9 inch zip, which means it's 9 inches from the start of the zip here to the end of the zipper teeth, and you've got a little bit extra in the zipper tape. So I cut my fabric 10.5 inches wide, which is exactly the width of the whole zipper itself. I also cut it 10.5 inches long, so it's exactly a square. So to begin, start at the top if you have a design, flip it to the wrong side, then you're going to fold over 1/4 inch on the raw edge there and press. Then you're going to fold it again by 1/4 inch, making sure that raw edge is tucked in that second fold, and press. Then once it's pressed, you're going to place the bottom, you're going to place it along the bottom there of the zip. So place the folded edge close to the zipper teeth, and then you're going to use your zipper foot and stitch, top stitching all the way along there. So you're top stitching and sewing the fabric to the zip in one step. Now this project you can use your zipper foot for the entire project. Now that you have the bottom of the zipper sewn to the top of the bag, you can see that there's no raw edge because you've got that double fold there. So the next thing is to bring the bottom edge up to meet the top edge of the zipper. And you're going to once again use your zipper foot and stitch across here. Now the seam allowance for this doesn't matter, but because the fold here is fairly close to the zipper teeth, I'm going to try and get close to the zipper teeth with the foot of the machine or with my stitching line. Now that the other side of the zipper is sewn, we're going to turn it right side out. You're going to close the zip, take it to your ironing board, and you're going to press this seam here, which is the top of the zipper. But you're also going to make sure that the seam allowance is facing up. So by that I mean make sure that the zipper tape is flat when you iron. So I have my fingers inside pushing the zipper tape flat, and then you push this up here. Then you're going to press along that seam and press it flat, but don't top stitch yet. Once you've pressed this seam flat here, you're going to refold it. So lift it up, and then you're going to fold this back section here up over the zipper tape. So it's about 1/2 inch that you have along here, but the side view looks like this, that you're folding up over that zipper tape. You're using that as a guide to fold along the edge there. take that to your ironing board and press it flat. Once it's all pressed, you're going to tidy up these side seams here and just get rid of any frayed edges. And you're going to repeat on this side here as well. So this is the zipper pouch squared up. So what I did, I took the ruler and lined up one of the lines with the bottom fold there and took off about 1/8 of an inch. It doesn't really matter as long as it's square and your frayed edges are removed. And the same with the other side, just moving the zipper pull out of the way of your ruler. Again, lining up one of those lines and squaring up the side. Once you have everything pressed and squared up, you're going to leave it right side out. Then we're going to sew a seam down both these short edges here, using about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance as we're going to do a French seam. So now we have a 1/8 inch seam either side there with right sides out. We're going to turn it so that the wrong sides are facing out, making sure each of the corners is poked out very well. Once you poke the corners out, you're going to finger press the seam. So just give it a roll between your fingers, making sure that seam's pressed. And again, poke your corners out with a tool. Don't worry about this raw edge here, we'll take care of that at the end. So again, roll the seam there, making sure that your corners are poked out. Now you're going to stitch a seam down each of the edges here. And again, seam allowance doesn't matter. I do just slightly larger than 1/4 inch, just making sure to enclose that previous seam. So again, down here and down this side, just moving your zipper pull out the way for this side. Now these two side seams have been sewn, we'll turn it right side out. Now just as a note with these side seams here, just be careful of the zipper stops at each end. And again, the seam allowance doesn't matter as long as you don't hit the stops there. Mine was about 1 centimetre on my sewing machine guide. So now we turn it right side out. I find if you press the fold or fold the seam allowance and hold that with your thumb on the inside and finger on the outside, you can push the corner out pretty well that way. But of course you can use a tool to help you. And you may get a few stray threads from your seams, so just clip those or pull them out. I'll use a tool to poke those corners out. So once your corners are poked out, just roll the seam outwards with your fingers. And then you can take it to your ironing board and press. Then the last thing you need to do is a top stitch along this here. So you're going to stitch through the front and it'll go through to the back. And that will take care of the raw edge in there, so you won't see a raw edge. So you can see the top stitching along the top there. And you can see that it shows at the back, which takes care of the raw edge at the top. So you have no raw edges in your pouch. It's sturdy pouch, but unlined, and takes less than 10 minutes to sew. Thanks for watching this tutorial. If you'd like to stick around and watch the rest of the video, I'll sew another one of these pouches just so you can see that it does actually sew up in less than 10 minutes.